Good afternoon, everyone. Chris Osbrook here, Winding Road Magazine. Today I'm here with the 2017 Lexus GS 200T. This is Lexus's mid-sized entry into the rising four-cylinder crowd. It's rear-wheel drive, powered by a 2-liter four-cylinder engine, turbocharged split injection, meaning you have direct and indirect fuel injectors, making 241 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, slotting it right up against the likes of the Audi A6, BMW 5 Series, and the Mercedes E-Class. This particular model comes in right around $52,000. You can see, personally, I'm starting to warm up a little bit to Lexus styling. I know it's a personal thing, but I'm still not a fan of the melted look of the front end, but it is distinctive, and the proportions are nice. The wheels look good. I'm always a fan of a good chunky 5-spoke design. You can see some fixed calipers there. Looks like they're using some nice braking hardware. Decently aggressive rolling stock on the wheels. Taking a look around this thing. It's going to be a quick review today. Normally I spend about a week in a car to really get a good idea of what the car is all about. Today I have this Lexus for about a day, so I will go through and give you some of my impressions. First off, practical design. Opening up the trunk. Big roomy trunk. Lexus did a good job with that. A little bit cheap feeling on the trunk itself, but minor complaint. Open up the back, see plenty of seat room. Don't mind the foot marks for my daughter. She tends to kick things. Doors, a little bit of Toyota feeling to them. Not super high quality bank vault feeling, but that is a minor complaint. Looks from the side I think are good. Let's go ahead and jump in this thing. Ooh, well, Lexus interiors, I really like what they're doing this lately on the interiors. It's very comfortable, very appealing place to be. Look at the size of this display here. It's over 12 inches. Really make good use of the real estate. I prefer this integrated display concept over the stuck-on iPad thing that some manufacturers are doing these days. Important stuff, steering wheel, front and center. The seating position is a little bit high, but the driving position, the steering wheel is nice, good chunky feeling. Slight bit of, not really flat bottom, but it's a very sporty wheel with nice shift paddles right at hand here. The interior is a nice place to be. I wouldn't call it benchmark in terms of interior quality. There's still a few slightly cheap feeling areas, and the switchgear has a little bit of Toyota feeling to it. But it's very functional. It's very well laid out. I do like the fact that you have buttons and real buttons basically to operate the most frequently used items. You got a real volume knob. You got a real button to turn the system on and off. Good job, Lexus. I think that that's really good for ergonomics, and I prefer that kind of setup. Conventional shifter, I like that too. They've got this little mouse thing that operates the infotainment system. We'll get to that later. It is, you know, when you're sitting here, it's not bad, but when you're actually driving, I think it becomes a bit of a distraction. Like I said, we'll touch on that later. Gauges, very good. You can see, very legible, very clear, easy to read. Does everything I expect gauges to do. Nice clock in the middle. It's a typical Lexus touch. So, started the engine. I'll let you listen in a second, but it's very smooth and quiet. For a 4-cylinder unit, I'm not the biggest fan of 4 cylinders. This one feels pretty nice. We're going to go ahead and drop it in drive. Switch it to sport. Go take it for a drive. Right off the bat, I can tell that the steering feel is good. It's a nice blend of a little bit of weighting to it without being too heavy, a little bit of feel to it. I just got out of the Fusion Sport, and I really did not like the steering feel of that car. But this GS, I have to give credit where credit is due. Lexus is putting a lot of emphasis on the important parts of driving dynamics. So that engine smoothness carries through to driving on the road too. It's not just smooth at idle. It's a very refined engine. Performance-wise, I would say it's about average for this segment. It's not a fast car. It's not a standout against the other vehicles in this 4-cylinder mid-sized luxury C-Class segment. But it's certainly, you know, it does okay for itself. It's backed by Lexus's 8-speed automatic transmission. Shifts very smoothly. Just a little bit of lag off the line. But the corners is really where I appreciate this car. The body is very well controlled. It strikes a nice balance between cornering performance and comfort, because you don't want a non-performance variant like this car to be a real corner carver, because then you start to make sacrifices in ride quality that many of your customers aren't going to appreciate. So this car it has sharp turning, the body is well under control, but it doesn't ride like a cattle car over bumps. I'm on it's not the smoothest road, and the car is still, it's on the firm side of comfortable, but it's definitely still comfortable. Over this broken pavement, the body structure feels very solid. Back to the infotainment system. They've divided up the screen because it's so large into basically two areas, a main area on the left, smaller area on the right, so it's really possible to do two different things at once with this thing. So I'll go ahead. I'll go straight ahead here. I'll move it over to navigation. See, I have the navigation on the right, and I have the radio information there on the left. This mouse, it's got quite a bit of haptic feedback. It's got some resistance to it, and it kind of snaps to different icons that are positioned around the screen. And the concept, like I said, works pretty good, but it does require a bit of precision, and it definitely requires concentration that you take away from the road. I guess I can get used to using it, but I'm a tech-savvy younger guy. I think a lot of customers, like my parents, hate the stereotype, but I'm sure my parents would absolutely hate this interface. So I think Lexus could do to investigate going after some sort of concept that was a little less distracting or took a little less attention away from the driver. What's really frustrating is, let's say you go to satellite radio and you want to scroll through that big list of channels that you have available to you. That's when it gets really frustrating. So I'm trying to get to list all the satellite radio channels, and I finally get to all of them. And now I have like 5, and that's it. and then I got to go over here to this arrow, and oh, hard to find the arrow. It's just bouncing back and forth. There, oh, I missed it. All while I'm trying to pay attention to traffic. It's just too much. And now I've just gone down one screen. I've only got 5 more channels out of the hundreds that they have. It's super frustrating. There is a rocker button here that lets you kind of go faster through the list, but it's still nowhere near as efficient as a touchscreen or a scrolling wheel. It's not a very efficient way to deal with lots of information. If you're on a single screen with a few menu options, the system does okay. But for some things, like if you want to scroll through all of these channels, forget it. More things to touch on. The audio system. This car is equipped with the upper end Mark Levinson branded audio system. I don't have the specifications memorized. I think it's about 800 watts, bunch of speakers. It's a really good system. It's probably, I keep hearing it's one of the best out there, and I believe it. I've heard quite a few of the systems, but I haven't heard all of the luxury branded systems out there. But overall, it's very musical, great sound stage. You can really crank the bass if you want to. It's not what audiophiles are going to do, but many people like to have rich bass heavy music, and the system lets you do that. Good frequency extension. I think most people will be happy with the stereo if they're into music and they want to spend for the Mark Levinson branded system. Let's try the lane keeping assist. I just turned that on. Active steering. Let's see if it recognizes. No, doesn't recognize lane markings here. It's just gonna let me wander. Okay, enough of that. Yeah, as you'd expect from Lexus, the shift quality is very comfortable, very smooth, very luxurious. They've done a good job of making this a very sporty yet refined vehicle. It's sometimes a difficult balance to achieve because the two ideas are really at the opposite ends of the spectrum. But even, downshifts coming to a stop, kick down maneuvers, the transmission always shifts quickly, but it also shifts smoothly. So good job to Lexus on that. One thing that's a little goofy, you do have a traction control off button here. But while you're rolling, it only lets you turn off the traction control. It does not allow you to turn off the stability control. You must come to a complete stop first, press and hold the button. Then it will allow you to turn off the stability control. Sounds like a feature the lawyers would have come up with. We will go ahead and do that. Complete stop. Traction control off. Hey, there we go. All that stuff is off. So the question on literally nobody's mind, will the Lexus GS 200T do a burnout? I don't think it will. I got everything turned off, but ha ha ha. Well, it rotated the rear tires about one turn before the electronics completely cut down the power and said, no burnout for you. So, in my completely irrelevant test, the GS 200 will not allow you to do a brake stand or a burnout. You get a beep when you get a downshift request. That is denied. I don't have the specifications in front of me, but it feels like a 0 to 60 time of roughly high 6, low 7 second range, which, as I said before, it's about par for the course. It's not a standout, but certainly doesn't embarrass itself either. We're going to go ahead and get on the interstate here and do a standing 0 to 60 run, see how it does. I-96 West. Ready? There's a little bit of wind noise, but nothing too offensive. Overall, it has a quiet ride I would associate with a typical Lexus product. Turn that back on. So one feature that is absent, I don't believe this car has any sort of start-stop system, so the engine will stay on at idle. But for a 4-cylinder, this thing is absolutely amazingly smooth at idle. It is one of those cars where if I didn't look at the tachometer and see about 750 RPMs dialed up, I would think the engine is off right now. So Lexus GS 200T, what's my quick take on it? Overall, I'm happy with this car. This is a good, competent car that strikes a really nice blend between something that's fun to drive and something that's luxurious. It's well made. It's not class leading in terms of interior quality, but Lexus is class leading or benchmark in terms of reliability, which means a lot to many people. But the interior is good enough. The design is very nice. The exterior styling is take it or leave it, but that's up to you to decide. And it's definitely distinctive. It's definitely not boring. What else? It's just fun to drive. It's not a performance label vehicle, but it still is not boring to drive. This is the entry-level engine. Those who like power would be better served looking at perhaps the normally aspirated V6 option. And all-wheel drive is also not available in this 4-cylinder version. So if you want to get an all-wheel drive version of the GS, you're going to have to step up to the V6. But with that being said, $52,000 is pretty competitive. You know, this thing's got navigation, it's got that high-end stereo system. Of course, it has heated seats. It's a good value. I like it. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. I hope you appreciate this quick look at the Lexus while I aimlessly drive around a hospital facility here. No, I don't know where I'm going. I'm just gonna try to look for a spot to park and take a few quick pictures of this thing, as I have to give it back in about 10 minutes. But in any case, thanks for watching Winding Road Magazine. This is Chris Osberg. Please subscribe. Please check out my channel and more Winding Road videos. And we'll be coming back at you soon with another review and another point of view drive. That's what we like to do. So take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.